It started as a joke among the locals, stories about skinwalkers, cursed witches who could shapeshift into animals and stalk the night. No one paid much attention, dismissing them as superstitions meant to scare restless kids. But for 16-year-old Mira, the tales unearthed a strange curiosity. She had always been drawn to the woods behind her small town, dark, thick, and whispering with secrets. One chilly October evening, Mira's best friend Tyler decided to challenge her. "Bet you won't go into Blackwood Forest alone at midnight," he teased, smirking. Mira hesitated, the thrill of rebellion tickling her nerves. That night, with only her phone flashlight and a pouch of trail mix, she slipped out of her house, determined to prove her bravery. As she entered the shadowy woods, the familiar crunch of leaves under her boots was muffled by an unsettling silence. The moon peeked through the skeletal branches, casting eerie shadows that danced with each flicker of her flashlight. She moved deeper, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. Half an hour in, she noticed something strange. Paw prints, unlike any animal she'd seen, larger and more human-like in shape but with claws that gouged the earth. Her skin prickled. "Probably just some big wolf," she whispered, trying to reassure herself. But the hairs on her arms stood upright. Suddenly, a distant howl shattered the silence, sharp, high-pitched, unnatural. Her flashlight flickered, and just as it went dark, she caught sight of something, a figure at the edge of her vision. It was tall, hunched, shifting between human and beast, its eyes glowing like embers beneath a shaggy, grayish mass of fur. Mira froze. Her breath caught, and for a moment, she thought her mind was playing tricks. But then the creature moved. It was closer now, its form flickering as if struggling between states. The creature's face stretched into a grotesque smile, rows of razor-sharp teeth glinting under the moonlight. It spoke then, in a raspy voice that sounded distorted, like a recording played backward. "You shouldn't be here," it hissed. Mira's blood ran cold. She turned to run, but the woods seemed to close in around her, branches scraping her skin like teasing fingers. She tripped over a root and hit the ground, scrambling to her feet. The creature was upon her now, its shape shifting rapidly, sometimes a wolf, sometimes a man, sometimes something unrecognizable that defied logic. Her mind raced. The stories about skinwalkers, they could mimic anything, change form at will, and hunt their prey relentlessly. Only the purest of fears could give them away, but Mira had no idea what was real anymore. From behind her, she heard a voice, an old, gravelly whisper. "You've seen, now you understand. Stay out of the woods if you value your life." Mira spun around. Standing amidst the trees was an old woman, her face lined and stern, cloaked in tattered ribbons of fabric. Her eyes were fierce. "You're not safe here," she warned. "They're called skinwalkers. Beings cursed by a dark magic, bound to hunt those who intrude." The creature howled, a deafening, guttural cry, before lunging at her. Mira yelped and stumbled back, her mind screaming. The woman grabbed her arm with surprising strength. "Come," she commanded. They ran through the thick woods, dodging branches and leaping over fallen logs. The old woman guided Mira towards an old, abandoned cabin hidden beneath tangled vines. Inside, the air was thick with dust and smelled of decay, but it was a sanctuary. "I'll explain," the woman panted, leaning against a broken table. "Skinwalkers are once human beings cursed for terrible sins. They can't die unless their heart is destroyed, and they can mimic any creature, sometimes even a person. But there's a weakness. They hunger for the living, and they're most dangerous in their beast forms." Mira shivered. "How do you stop one?" The woman looked at her, eyes dark with sorrow. "You can't kill a skinwalker just by shooting it. The only way is to find its true form, its human heart, and destroy it. But here's the trick. Once you see its true face, it can no longer hide. It's a last chance to run, to escape with your life." Suddenly, a scratching noise echoed from the cabin's walls. Mira's stomach clenched. The creature had followed her, changing form once again outside. It scraped against the wood, a predator waiting for the moment to strike. "Go," the old woman urged. "Run to the town. Don't look back. Remember what I've told you." Mira hesitated, torn between fear and hope. Her instincts screamed at her to flee. She bolted out of the cabin, racing through the woods, guided only by the moonlight in her pounding heart. As she fled, she glimpsed something terrifying. The creature's face, shifting so rapidly it was impossible to discern, but with eyes that still burned with a malevolent intelligence. It knew she saw it. When she finally burst out into the clearing near her town, she dared a glance back. The woods were silent once more, abandoned, for now. But Mira knew, deep in her bones, that the skinwalkers were not gone, they were always watching. And someday, if they found her again, she might not be so lucky.